Hello, my name is Julia Cox and I'm a specialist teacher in Dover for cognition and learning. We've put together a short video to demonstrate how to use Russian scaffolding to support children in their writing. I'm going to share my screen with you now. In a moment, you'll see my colleague, Angie O'Gorman, who's the specialist teacher for communication and interaction. So for the majority of children, being presented with a blank sheet of paper and being expected to fill it with words is a scary thing and can be very off-putting. In one school I went to, I saw a child with a blank piece of paper in front of him. He put his sentence on, 3 or 4 words in very big writing, and then went back over the page and just filled different words randomly in all of the gaps until the page was filled up. Russian scaffolding is very simply a way to help the child think about what they want to write, talk through and construct the sentence on paper. We all know of children, either emergent writers or older pupils, who are very able to say what they want to write, but somehow putting it down onto the paper does not work and it all goes wrong. Russian scaffolding is also useful to support children with developmental language disorder who have difficulty with syntax and constructing sentences. So why Russian scaffolding? Vygotsky came up with the zone of proximity. It's best understood as the difference between what a learner can do without help and what he or she can do with help, as demonstrated by this diagram. Vygotsky stated that a child can follow an adult's example or that of a more able peer and gradually develop the ability to do certain tasks independently. Vygotsky, among other educational professionals, believes the role of teachers to be to provide children with experiences which are in their ZPD, thereby encouraging and advancing their independent learning. The support that the adult gives to the child reduces over time as the child becomes more confident and competent. Much of the scaffold is removed, much as the scaffold is removed from a building during construction. Another way to think of it is the I do, we do, you do model. The adult demonstrates to the child, they then work on it together until eventually the child can do it by themselves.
Hi, I'm Angie O'Gorman and I'm the specialist teacher for Dover for communication and interaction. And I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about how Russian scaffolding benefits children with an ASD diagnosis in particular. So children with ASD are generally highly visual learners, and they respond well to things being broken down and in rules. So Russian scaffolding works really well for them because the activity is broken down into small manageable chunks. It provides those structure and rules. It's obviously very visual, and within that the children can basically learn a little bit and then move on to the next stage. And so it's a very gradual learning process which enables the child to become more independent. Because it takes away the fear of just a blank sheet of paper, it's really self-esteem boosting, and it enables the child to focus on maybe their area of special interest, and the writing is almost just being developed in the background. So it really helps them to be motivated to learn. And in this way, it helps to build imagination while not worrying so much about the process of writing, because they're learning that in gradual steps. So for example, the example there on the page, if a child might be interested in princesses, the child could come up with their sentence and just be focusing on that thing they like about princesses, and then the adult scaffolds by drawing the lines and helping the child gradually to build up that sentence, so the process of writing isn't so daunting. So really, with with all children and ASD children, it's about getting to know them. So knowing that process, you're getting to know them through assessments and observation and looking through their books to see where they're at the start, and then talking to them, finding out what their interests are, and so building up that sentence together. And it's a really good process, Russian scaffolding, because it can be used alongside language for learning and tied in to language through colour as well, which is really good.
So Russian scaffolding doesn't need any more resources. You've probably already got in your classroom things like an alphabet arc, phoneme mats, and high frequency word lists for tricky words are all useful. We've now got a short video to demonstrate Russian scaffolding being used. In this first stage, we're just concentrating on the child listening and giving us the initial phoneme sound. So Angie, what did you do this weekend?
I walked my dog.
Right, let's think about that. I walked my dog. How many words was that, Angie?
4 words.
4. Let's see if we can write that. I, only a short word, walked. Well, that's a nice long word, isn't it?
Yeah.
Walked. My, another short word, dog. I walked my dog. Can you say it with me? I walked my dog. And we've got our letters here so that Angie can have a look and choose those as we're trying to do the writing together. Now I isn't on there because these are lowercase letters, so what I might do is to show Angie how to form the letter. And then if we weren't socially distancing, ask her to write it over the top. So I walked. Walked. What's the first sound that you can hear there? Wah, that's right, well done. Can you find wah? Can you remember which one wah is?
Wah, that's wah.
I walked my. That's right, the Can you find that Now let's have a go at this last one. What's the first sound that you can hear in dog? I walked my dog.
D, d, d.
Do you think you can sound out the whole word?
D. Oh, oh.
And dog.
G, g, g.
Well done, Angie. I walked my dog. Well done. Can you put the letters back in the right place for me? And this is where it is about knowing your child, because it might be that you could get more sounds for the longer words. It might be that if there are words that they're using in a topic, they could have on a word map to prompt them. And here are some examples from children's work. You can see here that the child is making some phonetically plausible spellings, even though they're not all correct. Again, this shows a good before and after pieces of writing to demonstrate how effective Russian scaffolding is. In the second stage, we're beginning to give the child a little bit more independence, and we've got another video clip to demonstrate this. How many words is that? I saw my cat. How many have you got there?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Right, let's write those lines for you. I saw my cat. Have a go with that. I saw my cat at. Here are some further examples. You could have used, I could have used a phoneme mat as well to help Angie to look at the correct diagraph choices for the or sound in saw. Some more examples from children's work. You can see here how the adult has put in the tricky words. Once they get onto this stage and are working almost completely independently, might consider whether a sound button or recording device would help them to remember the sentence in between them saying it and writing it down. Here are some further examples. And you can see how it can be used for quite extensive writing. If you have any further questions or advice, please don't hesitate to contact either Angie or I.